Hi, everyone. This is Kristal Doolin. I am recording my session because for the first time since the very first Kentucky Go Digital event, I will not be able to attend because I'm out of town. I am hoping to be able to jump into the chat at the point that this is being shared with you all. But if I'm not able to because of Wi-Fi or something else preventing me from hopping on at that moment, my fellow Kentucky Go Digital leaders will be in the chat to support you and answer any questions. If you have questions after this session or after the event, or just want to connect, you can find me at Miss Doolin on Twitter and email me in Corbin. You can see all of my contact information there on the screen. So the title of my session is Can You Hear It? Opportunity is Knocking. How can we use the skills and resources gained during the pandemic to move seamless blended learning forward for both teachers and students? When I sat down to decide on the topic that I wanted to do my presentation on, I thought about where I am as a teacher after the past 2 years, especially, and what I need, where I need to be going directionally, um, and what I felt like would speak to me at this point in this season of what we've uh, dealt with. I feel like we're all in this together and we've all been through it together. We're all coming out of it together and charging forward together. So I feel like that what resonates with me hopefully will be meaningful to you as well, because that's where I felt led to go with this. What I want to start with is looking at what we gained in 2020. I look on the bright side. Now, you don't hear very many people saying a look on the bright side about anything related to 2020. But rather than focusing on the negative, thinking about the learning loss, thinking about my daughter who lost a chunk of her sophomore year and then a even bigger chunk of her junior year. I got to thinking about the students that are going to be in my classroom this year. And the fact that I taught 5th grade for the past 2 years. Now I'm back in 7th grade. So the students who left my classroom March 13th, 2020 are going to be back in my classroom this year. That's pretty amazing. I haven't seen them since then. Obviously we connected virtually during the crisis mode of trying to finish that school year, but it's pretty amazing. And when I started thinking about it, I thought about the negatives first. Oh no, I'm gonna, see all this loss of growth, over that year and a half or so that it's been since I've seen them. But then I thought, you know what? I can't do that. I need to look on the bright side and I need to think about what we've gained, because we have gained a lot. We've gained tools, a lot of tools, and you can't ignore that. It's like the Oprah Winfrey Show back in the day when she used to have that show where she would give away tons of things. I felt like somebody was saying, you get a Chromebook, you get a Chromebook, and you get a Chromebook. It's raining Chromebooks. That wouldn't have happened without the situation we were in for an amount of time. We've gained skills, so many skills. We've had PD that's focused on trying to get everyone on the same page and get us to the point that we're comfortable leading lessons from our classroom when students are at home. And a lot of us were not ready for that. It was still intimidating, or we just didn't feel, comfortable jumping into that. And we had to cannonball in. We didn't have a choice. So we've gained a lot of skills as teachers, and then we transferred those over to students. We taught them how to learn in a totally different way than they've ever learned in their life. And then innovative ideas. I really feel like if there were an award for innovative thinkers or innovative ideas from 2020, teachers should get that award because we had to do every workaround, every possible plan and figure it out relatively quickly. One day you're teaching at school by yourself and the kids are at home, and the next day you've got small groups coming in and you're wearing masks and distanced, and then you're suddenly teaching some students at school and some students at home concurrently. I mean, it was just a constant change that we had to adapt to. So a lot of innovative ideas came out of that. Without a doubt, 2020 pushed everyone out of their comfort zone. Even people that were already out of their comfort zone got pushed further. And now that we're out of that crisis mode, everyone is ready to go back to normal. We are tired. We just want it back. We want back that sense of school, that we feel like we've lost. But I worry about that back to normal idea because I see regression with that word back. And I feel like we have to stop and think with all we've gained, we can't go back to normal. We can go forward to a better normal. Yeah, we can get that same face-to-face instruction, our same, rhythms that we had before, and get back to seeing the smiles on faces without masks. But we have to take our instruction forward for our kids and ourselves because we've earned it. We've got the tools, we've got the skills, we've got the innovative ideas pouring out of us, and it's time. So I wanted to take that idea of looking on the bright side and let that light our way forward to seamless, inclusive, blended learning with familiar tools. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm at a point after the past year or so where I've had a lot thrown at me and I've not really had time to digest a lot of it. So I want to, rather than diving into 10 new tools, take 5 or 6 of the tools that I've used over the past several years and get better, get stronger. Use them for true blended learning, not just a Band-Aid on a problem. So I want to use the familiar tools so that I don't have that stress of learning something new, but it's familiar. I'm just going to take it to another level. With that, I want to start with Google Classroom. Yeah, Google Classroom. Super familiar, right? And I know not everyone is using Google Classroom, but I know a lot of you are. If you're not using Google Classroom, these ideas will carry over to another platform, I'm sure. Google Classroom is a fabulous communication tool. It's great for personalization. I don't know how many Bitmoji classrooms I saw on Twitter last year. It's great for the commenting options that you have, either private comments or class comments. It's great for differentiation. And it's great for parent communication because we have the Guardian summaries. I'm so happy that parents aren't left out of that communication possibility there. And if you're not familiar with any of those or any of the things I mentioned on some of these pages, you'll notice that I have the things at the top underlined because they're hyperlinked. So when you get access to this presentation and have a chance to dive in, if you're not familiar with personalization in Google Classroom or differentiation in Google Classroom, click on those links to see a video or a website where you can dive in a little more. But rather than talking about those things that most of us are already doing, I want to ask, have you tried voice instructions and feedback with Moat? Moat is a voice tool. You can use it to record your voice, to leave feedback or instruction, or just comment notes for students that allow them to hear your voice rather than reading the written word. Now, there's no substitute for them reading the written word. But let's be honest. Doing this with your voice is a lot faster for the teacher, and they have the option to hit the play button again and listen to it over and over. This is going to help with inclusivity, and it also adds a level of personalization because they're hearing your voice. Next, digital citizenship with originality reports. Now, most people think of originality reports in Google Classroom as that gotcha, that tool that we have to catch them when they're doing the plagiarism. But I also don't think it really benefits to catch them after it's already finished. They've already submitted it, the process is done. I want to catch it as it's happening and teach them a lesson in digital citizenship before they turn in the plagiarized document. So, originality reports actually has a capability that allows students to run their own originality reports where they can catch it themselves and learn from their mistakes before it ever gets to the teacher. So let's take a quick look at Moat. Now, I'm not going to share every video in this presentation with you because there's simply not time. I only have 30 minutes. But I do feel like Moat is one that I want you to take a look at. Like I said, there are other voice recording tools out there. One that I used quite a bit before I started using Moat was Talk and Comment. It's a pretty simple extension, but Moat allows you to integrate that voice feature into more areas of what you're doing. Take a look. I am leaving you with a video about using originality reports in classroom, and this kind of walks you through how students can utilize those reports before it gets to you. A lesson in digital citizenship. Take it in that direction, and it'll be so much more meaningful to kiddos. Next, I want to jump into collaborating with Jamboard. Jamboard is probably, I don't know, second or third most used tool for me last year. other than Classroom and Meet, obviously. My students loved when we were going to have a breakout with Jamboard. We used it with breakouts in Google Meet, and they loved it. It allowed them to talk to their friends and work in small groups in a way that they, hadn't been able to do because they were at home. And I know for a lot of people, they're thinking, oh, well, I don't need that anymore because they're going to be in the classroom. You still need it. There are so many wonderful uses for Jamboard in the classroom. Now, obviously, it is great for collaboration, and I've linked a video up there for you just to look at some basic collaboration, what Jamboard was built for. But think about taking it further than that. Have you tried annotating reading? Reading that students are working on in class, they can annotate it on a Jamboard. Using Equatio to create math activities. Labeling maps or diagrams in science and social studies. Sequencing events or steps in every class. So many possibilities are out there with Jamboard that maybe you weren't able to get to last year because you were just trying to catch your breath. Dive into this video when you have a chance. This is, I feel like, the best overall video of what you can do with Jamboard in different content areas. It really is, like it says, the ultimate guide to Google Jamboard. Can't say enough about how far you can go with collaboration with this tool, and how amazing is it for blended learning in your classroom, especially things like station rotation, allowing students to work in small groups together. I want to jump now to create with screen capture tools. Screen casting, screen capture, whatever you want to call it. A lot of us were using it last year, mainly for creating things to get to our students. But don't forget that our students can create as well. We can all use the Google Classroom mobile app. Amazing things are possible when you use the mobile app, and then you just use it for a demonstration or directions or whatever, and then upload it right into Google Classroom. Same thing for your students. They can use the mobile app to upload a video into Google Classroom. Flipgrid, robust tools, amazing platform. And Screencastify, which is growing every day, and also has the Screencastify Submit feature now. All three of these are great for creating video, for directions, explanations of content, and demonstrations as well. All those are great. For my students, I was always looking for an easy, quick way for them to record their screen. Have you tried the new Chrome built-in screen capture? This may have escaped you because it, was released in the middle of everything we were trying to do. But Chrome now has a built-in record feature. Now, we've been able to capture a picture on the screen for a long time, but now you can do more with that capture, with that image, and you can record your screen with just a click of a button rather than having to pull in an extension, an app, or another website. So I want to share this video with you real quick so you can see what you may have not even known is there.
Hey there, terrific teachers and techies out there. Today I'd like to talk about a new feature in Chrome OS on your Chromebook if you are updated to Chrome 88, and that's the new built-in screen record and screen capture. So this is a great new feature that is in the latest version of Chrome. So normally, if you want to do a screen grab, you could do that using the keys, the Control Shift, and then the Overview keys, which are on your Chromebook, where you can do a partial screenshot or a screenshot of your full screen. But now with the new update, you can have access to more features. So in my tray here, I do have you notice that there is a button here for screen capture, and I can also do it the other way where I do Control Shift and the Overview key. So you'll notice I have a new button that pops up down the bottom here. So the first one here is you can see I can do screenshots. just by hovering over these icons, you can see what they do. So let's say I want to do a screenshot, I'll have some options. I can take a full screenshot, so it takes the full screen. I can do a partial one, or I can take a screenshot of just the window. But one thing I do like about this new update is I can do a partial screenshot like this, and I could drag what I want to capture. And in the old version, you kind of got whatever you dragged over. But now in this new version, I can actually, until I click this capture button, move this around. So if I didn't do the screenshot exactly how I wanted, or the screen capture, I can even stretch this out. You see I get a little magnifying glass. So I could move things around. So let's say I want to grab this whole picture. So it's not finalized until you click that final capture button. And then when you do, it just shows up down in your download or your folder there, your files, and you can access that. So that's one thing I really like about the new feature. And the other one, of course, is I can do the same thing, do the Control Shift Overview, or click here in my menu tray, go to Screen Capture, and now I have an option for Screen Record. And again, you can do the same thing. You can record a partial part of your screen, a window, or the full screen. Okay, so you see I have all these three options here of what I want to record. So if I want to record my full screen, I can just click here. It'll give me a little countdown of 3, 2, 1. And here I am recording my screen right in Google Chrome. Down the bottom here, I have a little stop button. Again, when I hit stop, it just goes down into my download folder. I can click on it, and here you'll see my screen grab I did, and also my recording. So just another great little feature in the latest Chrome update, and a nice handy tool to have if you want to do any screen captures.
Okay, so I'm going to jump now to critical thinking with Edpuzzle. I used Edpuzzle a lot last year for my students. My daughter had several classes that used Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is fabulous for creating self-paced video lessons that you can then link straight into Google Classroom. Now, like every tool, there are good ways and bad ways, to use it. I know for a lot of people, we were just getting our feet under us and maybe didn't have a second to think about that last year. But when you're moving forward with using Edpuzzle, try to remember that your videos should be relatively short, 6 to 9 minutes. After that, you lose them. But a biggie is making sure there's engagement, making sure you have questions in that video that ask students to think critically, not just passively sit and watch the video until they get to the end so that it shows that they have watched the entire video. That happened quite a bit last year. And like I said, a lot of us were trying to get our feet under us. So sometimes you just had to do what you had to do to survive. But when you're moving forward with, try live mode. Now that we're getting kids back in the classroom, this is easier to do. Live mode allows you to have in whole class instruction or small group instruction, students watching the video together and answering those questions in the moment so that you can view it together, have conversations about those questions before you move on. We don't have time to watch this video, but I am going to leave you with the live mode explanation for Edpuzzle and encourage you, don't put Edpuzzle on the shelf. It's another great tool for blended learning, especially if you're doing playlist or station rotation in your classroom. But just trying to move forward with how we're using it. Next, curate with Wakelet. Now, I've used Wakelet for years personally to curate lists and kind of collect things from the web and, social media and all that. But as far as using it with students, I feel like there's so much untapped potential that I've not gotten to yet. It is a fabulous tool for curation in terms of gathering things together. Maybe a group of videos that you want students to watch, or social media posts that you want them to use and read, or a mixture of things that maybe go with a lesson or go with a unit and you want to put it together, or maybe you want to have students build a list. You can also do blended learning playlists in Wakelet. It allows you to pull together, it's almost like a Pinterest board, but souped up. It allows you to collect everything together right in one space. Now, that alone is pretty cool. But here was like a kicker for me. Have you tried the immersive reader? Now, the immersive reader in Wakelet is a Microsoft product. There is an extension in Chrome called Immersive Reader. It's similar, but not the exact same things. I mean, you can check that out too. But this Immersive Reader is amazing. And what you put into Wakelet can be read with this tool. And I'm not just talking just reading it. There's so much more to it. Let me share with you the read mode with Immersive Reader in Wakelet.
Hi, my name is Misbah, and I'm going to take you through the read mode feature on Wakelet. Let's get started. As you can tell, I'm in one of my Wakelet collections now, and you can see that I've saved quite a bit of content, including articles that I want to share. Now, if I hover my mouse over the article, the read mode button appears. I just click this button, and I'm taken to the read mode screen. This shows all of the text from the article, allowing me to focus on the message in a clear and visual way. And that's not all. I can click the Immersive Reader button to open up Microsoft's awesome Immersive Reader. Now, before we get into it, I should mention that you can also access the Immersive Reader for any piece of text inside a collection. This is someone else's collection, which has a description and some text items inside. And as you can see, we have the same Immersive Reader button next to each piece of text. It works the same way as accessing Immersive Reader whilst viewing an article in read mode. Now, once you're in Immersive Reader, there are so many different features that you can choose that improve the accessibility of this particular article. So if I click on Text Preferences, I can change the size of the text. I can increase the spacing, change the font. I can change the background color to make it more readable. Now I can click here to go to grammar options. I can choose to view syllables, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. This really helps comprehension when it comes to reading. And lastly, I can click on Reading Preferences to translate the text into over 60 different languages. Just choose the language, click the document toggle, and that's all there is to it. You can actually press play now to read aloud.
Οι καταστροφικές επιπτώσεις της κλιματικής αλλαγής είναι ήδη ορατές σε όλο τον κόσμο.
Lastly, and this is really cool, I can click on certain words to see a picture. That helps me understand what the word means. And that's all there is to it. Now, anyone can enjoy the articles you share, regardless of age, language, or ability. We're always looking to make Wakelet more accessible to everybody. So if you have any questions about Wakelet or the new read mode feature, then just get in touch with us at support@wakelet.com or just give us a shout out on Twitter. See you next time.
With that said, I hope some of this has been meaningful to you. I hope it's kind of got your mind thinking in the direction of, hey, now I can take a breath and take the tools that I'm familiar with and go to the next level to create a more inclusive, blended learning classroom. If you have any questions, as I said before, you can find me on Twitter at Miss Doolin or email me there. Hopefully I was able to jump into the chat during the session. If not, thanks for your attention and have a great rest of your event, rest of your day. I'm not sure what point in the day you're at right now, but enjoy. Thanks.